All right, hey, I am Shouvik Banerjee, founder of AverPoint. And,
Oh, hi. I'm Max. I'm a Stanford student who's working at AverPoint to help build it up.
yeah, so we are a platform to bring crowd-verified evidence into online marketing and editorial content. And we're responding to the declining trust in the traditional institutions that told us what to believe. So we did about 70 user interviews. We looked at a lot of polling data, and trust in these major institutions are below norms, in some cases all-time lows. Big government, big business, big religion, big media. People don't just obey top-down messages anymore. A lot of what we're seeing in the election right now is people don't trust any information. The debates are not about substance. They're not about information because people don't believe any source. If you look in business, sales costs are increasing. I came from a company where sales costs went up 140% in 2 years because we switched from pull marketing, building trust with the customer, to push marketing, aggressively going after the customer. What we found talking to users is they crave voices and brands that are authentic, that use evidence, that respect individual, that don't just tell you top down what to buy, what to vote for, but they engage with you. And so our mission is to empower those voices and really, big picture, imagine a world where honest people win, liars lose. So before we jump into the demo, three takeaways from our user interviews before, again, we wrote any code. People don't want top-down messages. What people seem to like is a virtuous cycle. Content creators create content, they break out their evidence, they're very transparent about what they believe their evidence to be. Reviewers can review it with a standardized process, say what's true, what's not true. Readers can read the content with the reviews, and then they can give feedback. Writers have a way to republish, re-engage, notify, and everyone feels more engaged when they feel there's a process that is cyclical and virtuous, not a top-down command. Reviews. There's 70 fact-checking platforms out there. There's a recent study by the Soros Foundation. One thing we found is people like grassroots fact-checking. They don't like it when an editor like at PolitiFact says, this is partly true, this is a little true, this is liar, liar, pants on fire, false. They like Wikipedia-type approaches where bottoms up things are declared true or untrue. So we built an algorithm, it's recursive. It basically says if 3 individuals in the community verify something, it's true. If 3 say it's false, it's false. If there's disagreement, it escalates to a higher level. And we gamified it so you earn reputation and you earn power through good behavior. Finally, people like an experience. We didn't want to build a reference site. We're not going to compete with Wikipedia. But there are a set of people that once they don't want a credibility score that you just look at and it's kind of a browser plugin over all content. They want to see something that then takes them to an immersive experience, an active reading experience that is connected to grassroots community fact-checking and that it's gamified. So with that, we want to show you what we've built. So this is our beta, and we focused entirely on the presidential election, and we took about 60 published statements from the candidates, and then on behalf of the candidates, we entered their information in our platform and found the evidence to support. Now we've all heard about Trump's wall, and most of the time you hear about that, it's cast as a crazy argument based on inflammatory, he's appealing to racism, and maybe he is. Certainly that's how his communications have been. But what's interesting, whether you support him or don't, is in his official policy position, there are 17 pieces of evidence. We highlighted those pieces of evidence, and the reader could come and see where they came from. You could click the details. You could click the source. Then you could check the New York Times and see if that is true. You could see how the community, is his fact correct? Whatever you think of his argument, is his fact correct? Now imagine when he announced his candidacy, if he decided, let me not appeal to people's fear, their anxiety, but let me make this argument with evidence and let other people respond and critique my evidence, critique my argument. Imagine we had a world that worked that way. But instead, him and many of the candidates decided, let me appeal to emotion. Let me do what typical marketers do. Here's a good Trump example. there's 3 proof points in his veterans piece. These have been through the review process. 3 people rejected that piece of evidence. There was disagreement on that one, so it got escalated. And then this one was verified. I'm logged in as Hillary Clinton right now. So imagine she came in, she looked at this evidence, and she said, 3 people said it's true, but I challenge it. I'm a reader. I have the privileges. And she said, you know what? I have a different source. This is an opinion. It's not neutral. I can't verify it. Hopefully she said something more thoughtful than this is false. But if she said it's rejected, she could submit the challenge. It immediately escalates, thanks to the reactivity of Meteor. And now this goes to level 11 reviewers and people who have earned that privilege. She could come in and say, hey, you provided 3 good pieces of evidence, but you make a lot of other arguments. I want more evidence. And actually, you know what? She just bumped down, so she doesn't have the privilege to ask for this evidence. But that's part of the gamification. So by challenging, the way we've gamified it, her score is up for grabs now. But so we built this reading interface. We built this writing interface where the writer can get the reader feedback. We use Quill.js, which is a popular package in the Meteor community. She can write articles. She can re-edit them. She can add proof points through this interface. We built this reviewer dashboard where so she just reviewed this proof point. So you come here and she could see all the reviews and how they're going. Other interesting features that we've built recently, we built these guided tours, which have gotten really popular in the online community. So I'll show you how one of those work. React and Meteor make this really easy. So we configured different modals on different pages. So if you're in tour mode, you can see popovers or modals tied to different components to guide you through the process. It automatically scrolls. And then this was pretty interesting. It's so important that readers understand how to see evidence. The tour, right now, you can't go to the next step until you do the right thing. You check out the evidence, you hit next, and then, again, here we want you to see the details. You have to go to the details to then see next. And all this is super easy to do in Meteor. Other features, just to mention, I mentioned we gamified it, so she has a score. You can go to the score page and see what privileges she has and doesn't have. So you need level 3 to request evidence, ask a question, leave a comment. How do you earn points? So this is all gamified based on what the users do. If you verify and the community verifies, you earn points. If you go against the eventual community consensus, you lose points. So we're hoping this incentivizes good behavior in the review process. Meteor, of course, because it's reactive, lets you very easily respond to user behavior. That's how we get live notifications like Facebook. These are really easy to build because of Meteor's reactivity. So that's a quick demo of some of our features. So we wanted to mention we started building this around Christmas, so we're not quite as far along. We're getting this beta out to folks. But why did we choose Meteor? So any startup, you have a lot of rocky moments. But I like to say with Meteor, you have a lot of like the good rocky moments. You feel a lot of quick wins. So in a startup, you want to feel like you made progress. And with Meteor, just psychologically, it's nice to get prototypes out, nice to get features built. And we're literally building a new feature every day, and you can do it that fast in Meteor. So I think team morale, there's 11 people working on this, team morale is up because you see quick responses. You're not waiting like a month for a new release. It's very important to prototype a user experience website with interactive pages. So I think the conventional wisdom now, YC and a lot of startups, the example of Airbnb knocking on doors is every startup should prototype offline, use paper, use PowerPoints. For what we're trying to do, build trust online, build time and engagement online, Meteor is perfect because you can quickly build a page that's running, people can use. With React, you can quickly test different interactive features. So that was really great for us. PowerPoints, we tried a little bit, but there's only so much you could learn through mockups. We love that it's all JavaScript. Probably for everyone in the room, that's it's almost not even worth mentioning. But for me, I was used to building a database in SQL, using Python on the server, JavaScript on the client, and it was like, it was like writing a research paper in French based on data in Spanish, and then talking about it in English, and like you're going crazy, and it's super slow. If you grow the team, you have to find specialists in every language. So for anyone out there, considering Meteor, you go all in on JavaScript, and it just takes out a lot of the variables. I want to specifically talk about going from SQL to Mongo. I don't know if anyone is new to Mongo. I actually was very uncomfortable moving to Mongo. Not having a schema defined and starting an app felt like starting a company without a business plan, or imagine a country started without a constitution. But then I realized that because Mongo is so flexible for prototyping and being iterative, it's so easy to just try different features, try different tests, especially when you're what we are, a user experience site. You A/B test a lot of things. It's so great to be able to quickly change your database. And I realized that in the past, SQL was preventing me from trying things. So a lot of innovation happens by trial and error, and I think Meteor helps you get that. And then I like that you can add structure when you need it. This started off as a single page, big page with a lot of React components, and now it's well structured. But Meteor works at both levels, so I thought that was great. If we have the Meteor rock stars here, just my quick wish list. Our quick wish list here is we're not a big company, so we don't have the subscription account. If it was a little easier to debug in React, and particularly with callbacks. So we spent a lot of time trying to figure out where the error occurred after a callback. Stored jobs, so in SQL you can store a SQL procedure that runs every 5 minutes, particularly for caching data. That's helpful. And with the move from single pages with data to split pages, containers and data, it'd be cool if there was like a quick API that after you loaded the data, you could cache it. And then even for small apps, you could load a cache static version while the database was loading. And then UX events. So we measure a lot of events, and we use different marketing packages. But it would be cool if there was a Meteor API. You could record events and then use whatever you wanted, Google, Keen.io. But similar to what you're doing with the data layer, if maybe for the user analytics layer, there was something like that. Would be great for prototyping. So really quick, with our summer, where we're going, we're taking this interface, we're kind of getting the kinks out, we're keeping it focused on the election, and trying to understand how AverPoint increases engagement, trust, time with the content. And then the hope is, initially we're going to uncover a lot of roadblocks, user roadblocks where they get stuck. And then thanks to Meteor, I think we have a team set up that can quickly fix that. Then we'll figure out new features that make the site stickier, more pleasant. And then hopefully we have the data to be in a position where you guys are, where maybe we're showing some real user engagement, attracting top talent, and hopefully taking it to the next level for a startup. Just to show you, we have some ambitious product goals even for the summer. Just from what we're hearing from users, things they want to do, just highlight things that would be interesting probably for a more technical crowd. We want to turn this into an API, JavaScript plugin. So in addition to the destination site, that's a branded experience, imagine if corporate blogs, if publishers could plug in this evidence tool, so when you write something on Huffington Post, you have the option of including crowdsourced evidence. Caching, so it'll be a little faster. There's an idea of like Clash of Clans, Clash of Facts. Like, could we create little communities that believe in facts? Like, hey, we're this church has a certain view of what is fact, and this hippie colony has a different set of fact, but maybe we could better understand them and have them engage and talk to each other. And then some AI. Can we automate fact-checking and improve it over time if we add a layer of AI and some language processing? So I want to step back and let me not offer too much Kool-Aid from a startup you've never heard of and isn't publicly even really available. But this is really grounded in the Founding Fathers. I'm a CS and a US history major, and I was really struck as a student at how the Founding Fathers, they were startup founders. And when they designed the Constitution, it was like building an algorithm for a bug-free piece of complex software. And the bug they wanted to avoid the most was tyranny. And they built a system that could do it, but it needs two constant ingredients: education and free speech. And if you have those two ingredients, the great debate produces better ideas. The internet is supposed to democratize information and create more freedom, and yet it seems like we're in an age of misinformation. So I don't know what this product looks like in a year, but we are totally committed to this mission of a world where honest people win, liars lose. So if this is interesting to you, I'm sure many of you are much better coders than I am. So we'd love to hear from you. If you have ideas how we could take this further, please shoot us a note, build@AverPoint.